Those were deeply rebelling, just like Jeremy himself. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Mission Stories. My name is Troy. I'm joined, as always, by my co-host, Lyndon.
It's
Hello.
me.
Hey, Lyndon. Just go ahead and turn that mic down and right from the beginning.
Wow.
Firm handshakes between Jeremy and I.
Firm handshakes. Do you want a handshake? Very good.
Don't you?
Well, no.
Jeremy is an old school professional kind of guy.
I will be cleansing my hands shortly after this interview.
They've been washed. I don't know what I had today on them, but they've been washed.
They have been washed and
several times.
In what, may I ask?
Water.
Okay, good answer.
Washed my hand in beef tallow 6
Probably
times
smell like
today.
beef jerky.
Of all the options, water was a good one. Jeremy, how are you? You just came in from Lethbridge.
Came in from the bridge.
Just now you came in.
Just came from the 2-hour bridge drive.
What were you listening to? An episode of Mission Stories on the way up to prepare?
Well, you see, I'm always prepared, so I was probably listening to some sports stuff.
Sports stuff.
Fan 960.
Are you a player? Are you like Lyndon is a player of basketball? Are you a player of basketball?
I like to try
A
to
practitioner of the basketball?
I used to play with Lyndon till
what?
Lyndon squashed me, and I just stopped.
He squashed you.
Yeah. He punched me in the face.
I can testify that I have played with Jeremy on a basketball court.
I hear a story coming. What was the squash? What happened? Did you just smash him in the face?
Well, he's just referring to my general physical dominance.
Oh, just that you're better at it than.
It's because I was short and he elbowed me in the face.
You know, I think that did happen. I think I did actually hit you in the face
by
one time.
accident.
You did. I was knocked out for unconsciously.
Unconsciously?
Yeah. I don't remember what
Unconsciously
happened,
knocked
but
out.
Jeremy is not that tall,
No.
But I'm
so
a
it's,
better
it's
co-
not too hard for me to get my elbows.
But
to his head.
sexy. He's short but sexy.
And you know it.
I thought that was just implied.
Well, it's not typically implied. No, you have to. You have to specify.
Yeah, sure.
Hey,
Lyndon can testify.
should we start again?
There's no starting over.
No,
But
there
Lyndon-
is. We've done it a few times in the past.
Hopefully this is recording this time.
It is recording, and
But Lyndon can testify that I'm a better coach than a player.
are you a pretty good coach? Is he a good coach?
He is indeed a coach.
No.
Better than he is a player.
Okay, but I noticed you didn't say good coach.
Well,
Championships?
Is there another story here?
Jeremy's got championships under his belt.
Did you do that in quotations?
I quote
is that what I saw?
championships because championships need quotations.
Okay, because why?
Because you're a champion.
They need italics.
Oh, you italicize
Yeah.
your championships as well.
Yeah,
You slant them a little bit.
yeah, for emphasis.
You bold them perhaps too.
Yeah,
Got to shout it. Championship.
Champion.
yeah.
Champion. That was beautiful, by the way.
Yeah, no,
I sing sometimes.
You're a beautiful singer.
what a
I
wonderful.
sing for the deaf most of the time.
You sing. He sings for the deaf. Lyndon's got some new glasses on, by the way. I don't know if y'all can see that. Looks good. These suit you, actually.
You think so?
You had some other ones you tried on here. You walked in the door with a package, and it was your new glasses.
Yeah.
These make you well-rounded.
Is that a...
Everything
that a
from
joke?
Jeremy, I assume, is just like an underhanded slide at me.
Nothing is sincere. You're...
Well, his last glasses were square. These are rounded. They're well-rounded.
Okay.
They are well rounded.
Right.
A
Literally.
rounder frame.
Yeah.
They're literally
Didn't call you
well-rounded.
fat.
Okay, well, now you just did.
You son of a. Yeah,
Jeremy,
new glasses.
What a jokester you are. Well, they look good. You look like you're straight out of what was that movie with Michael Douglas, where he's got those glasses and he's got like a shirt and he looks like a missionary, but he goes on
Wall
like
Street?
a rampage. No,
Not Wall Street.
I think it's called Falling Down, and
A bit of a B cut from Michael Douglas.
yeah,
Wait, not
yeah.
Michael Douglas.
Michael Douglas. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
thought we were already
See, I'm
talking-
confused because I'm thinking about Michael Keaton movies because Michael
No.
Keaton's name
Is Michael
is Michael Douglas.
right?
And
No.
no, it is. His name is Michael Douglas. he had to legally change his last
Really?
name to join the Film Actors Guild. Well, it's not called the Film Actors Guild.
What?
Oh, the
Wowzers.
Film Actors Guild.
Yeah.
I don't even know what he's talking about.
I gotta,
It's an obscure reference.
yeah.
Got it.
Screen Act, SAG Awards.
Oh,
The SAG,
the SAG Awards.
not the Film Actors. Anyway. um, Man, they dodged that bullet. Do you think they were like at the registry, like filling that out? They're like, Film Actors Guild. And then like they saw the acronym and they're like, oh, Screen Actors Guild.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're
Naturally.
like, we don't appear on film. We appear on screens.
Screens. Right. Jeremy, how's Lethbridge doing?
Lethbridge is a lot warmer than it is in Calgary. I can tell you that much.
Yeah, that's the nice thing I like about Lethbridge, actually. The further south you get, and not even that much further south.
Because the wind blows.
Yeah, the wind blows.
But that wind, that's too
wind.
much.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's sometimes you can't sleep, but you know what? You just get over it.
It's like 4 out of like 7 nights a week. I can't sleep because of the wind, but like whatever.
Yeah.
It's the wind monsters.
It's called Deathbridge for a reason because you can't sleep. You
'Cause
just die sleeping.
Everybody's jumping off the bridge because they can't
Yeah.
sleep.
It's like
It's
that
true.
myth in Korea that if you leave a fan on in your bedroom while you're sleeping, you'll die, you'll suffocate.
Is that true?
Depends which way it
The
rotates.
myth, the myth or the death part.
Both.
Well, yeah. It's kind of like
You-
Theo's thinking you'll die if you sleep with a belt on.
Yeah, I love that.
In Korea, like they do not leave fans on when they sleep.
I wonder why that is.
They think you'll die.
Is that our good friend Kim Jong Il or Un spreading those rumors?
Who can say?
Just to
Well, I think
like,
it's South Korea.
cut back on electricity or something.
Yeah.
No,
He's
they
like-
don't have electricity in Korea.
Right. No, I forgot that. Sorry.
Just nuclear fission.
Right. They run off. Everything runs off nuclear. Nuclear or nuclear?
But
Nuclear.
just say it the way you want to say it. It sounds
Right,
good.
because nuclear is like nucleus, like a nucleus of a cell or something. Is that right,
No scientific.
Dr. Naglis?
Or the nucleus of an atom.
The Naglis actor? Right, of an atom. I don't know.
What?
I don't know
It's
anything.
pronounced nuclear.
Nuclear. So, I was going to say, one time my do you remember Twister, that movie?
Oh, yeah.
It's about twisters /
Yeah.
tornadoes. So I saw that in the theater with my parents, and
Back in the 90s.
back in the 90s, 96, something like that, when I was a young lad. And I became very afraid of tornadoes after that. And I remember asking my father for like comfort. I was like, Dad, what would I was like, Dad, what would happen if a tornado came to our house? And I thought, he's my dad. He's going to give me some comfort. You know what he said to me? He said, it would probably suck the air out of your lungs and suffocate you.
That's a bold statement.
Which should be...
Accurate, maybe, but it's not what I was looking for.
I feel like Mythbusters handled that. First of all, I don't think I ever finished my point about the Korean fans.
Right.
No.
And Jeremy said you die in your sleep in Lethbridge
Yeah.
because it gets so drafty.
Uh-huh.
It's like the fans in Korea. That's why you die.
Because it's...
I know the listeners are like, Lyndon never finished his thought.
No, that will often happen to me while I'm going, like, listening back to an episode. We do jump around a lot, and I'll be like, we never finished the thought. So thank you.
But I'm
Thank
just
you,
going to
Lyndon.
let you know, people don't die in their sleep.
Oh, I
I just made that up.
Okay.
It's Deathbridge because of some other reason.
You're like, because of the Krampus that wanders around at night,
Well,
killing
yeah,
people.
that and
That's
Because
why.
of all the rattlesnakes in the coolie.
rattlesnakes and the coolie.
Because of the
They're
serial
killing hundreds a
killers.
year.
Yeah.
Because of killer raccoons. Hold on, rattlesnakes for real?
Rattlesnakes for real. I saw one close up like a couple of weeks ago.
What did you do?
They live in the
I
coolie, right?
heard some hissing and I was like,
You're
interesting.
like, better investigate.
And so I looked down and I was like, oh, wow, that's terrible. And I was like,
Had a very
I was
small
with, I was
reaction
with
to it.
a client of mine. And I was like, don't go down off the deck till this guy leaves. And he's like, oh, could I go play with it? I'm like, if you want to die, yeah, might as well.
Like, it's up to you.
And so he just threw a rock at it and just went away.
So what do you do for a living for the audience?
Why do you have clients?
Who's your clients?
I work with people with disabilities.
Okay.
So they are my clients. I am their staff.
Right.
Is this like public outreach?
This
What do you
is
call
like-
this?
I call this community outreach. Get them out in the community.
What did I say? Public?
Public.
Oh, what?
You were way off.
I'm such a rube.
You're such a dummy.
Oh, dummy.
No one
It
wants to.
happens.
No one wants public outreach.
No.
Community.
Community. Please get that right.
Yeah.
And you're a team leader.
I'm a team leader.
How does that feel to be a team leader? To lead the team?
Just a rah-rah thing I do.
A rah-rah thing?
Someone's got to rah-rah them to get going.
You're like, item number one,
Rah-rah.
keep them away from snakes.
Keep them away from snakes
Those
and
rattlesnakes
drugs.
and drugs. And the drugs, the needles they find beside
Oh,
the
the
snakes.
needles in the swing pools. Needles everywhere.
They don't call it needle bridge for nothing.
No, it's definitely needle bridge.
It's full of needles.
Goes left bridge, death bridge, needle bridge.
Needle bridge,
Well-
snake bridge.
Yeah, everything.
That sounds. It's like the Australia of Alberta. Everything's trying to kill you.
Well, you got to die somehow.
Could be tornadoes
Yeah.
sucking the air out of your lung.
Yeah, they do have a bunch of tornadoes there too, don't they?
Yeah.
I've never seen one.
There's no tornadoes down there.
Okay, well it's windy.
It is windy,
So
but I've never seen a rotating one.
a rotating wind.
A rotating tornado?
They're okay. Well, let's just move on from this.
You need to talk about what the essence of a tornado is. Moving on.
Moving on. Should we get
No.
should we get to the dating portion of the program where we talk about your love life?
Yeah, it's become
It's become
life stories, dating stories, and then mission stories.
Nothing's really happening. Just a couple of crazies and just a life lessons.
What? What are some life lessons you've learned? Give us one or two.
Do background checks.
You do.
Background checks should be mandatory for everybody.
So you haven't done a single background
No, but I
check.
need to after the last one.
Okay. Where do you do these? Where would you do them?
Oh, you ask around, ask other people.
like private investigation.
You do your own
Like,
investigation.
can't you just like
Ask your
send a
clients.
form to the RCMP?
Oh, you could if you really knew a RCMP member and they could do it for you.
Plus Google.
Yeah, Google, yeah, Facebook,
Google though. Yeah, Facebook, LinkedIn.
LinkedIn, Instagram. If their Instagram stories are horrendous, you know why.
What do you mean horrendous?
Well, if they're like have nothing on them,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Are you a big Instagrammer?
I gram, but not like
You don't Instagram.
I don't Instagram. I
I
just gram.
haven't seen a lot of likes on the Mission Stories podcast Instagram from you, Jeremy.
I feel like you've like gone off the radar. Haven't
I have
you?
gone off the radar for some reason.
You
And
stopped
I've-
listening.
And I confessed this to
Yeah,
Troy.
you did.
Something happened along the way where I was like, this got boring, and life got in the way.
Jeremy.
But then I confessed and repented.
You
and
can't
then
say
came
that
back.
on the podcast that it got boring.
For me.
For
For others, who knows?
He's like,
but
I
I
certainly
can't-
don't speak for everyone.
But I came back. If that's
Okay, good.
If others don't, that's their problem.
you know what though?
This is like a microcosm of Jeremy's faith journey.
Yeah. Oh, should we get into your faith journey?
Oh, sure. Ask questions.
All right. Well, let's get back to the dating first of all. So you learned. Was there something? I already know too much. It's any question I ask is like a leading question.
Just like a loaded question.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a loaded question.
Here's a question, Jeremy. You say so many crazies. After a while, do you say, am I the common denominator?
Everyone's crazy. I could be. I am crazy.
Are you conscious of your own craziness?
No.
It's like, I just have a vague understanding of it.
If I'm crazy, I'm crazy. If I'm hated, I'm hated.
All I know.
But you know
is-
what? That's their problem if they don't like me.
That's right. That's right.
It is absolutely their problem.
That is their problem. It's their loss.
It's their loss. They don't really know who the real Jeremy is.
No. And
Unlike this guy.
did you guys date?
Well, I've known Jeremy for 11 years.
That's it's a long time.
That's more than
I'm
people's
Jeremy's
marriage.
longest relationship.
Yeah, that's true.
And most successful, I would imagine.
Hmm
Is
Yes.
length tied to success in
No.
relationships, do you think?
No.
I'd say it's correlated.
There's a correlation. It's not a 1-to-1, maybe. Maybe it's 2-to-1. I don't know. I don't know how that works.
Me either.
Don't challenge it.
So here's a question for you, Jeremy.
I have an answer.
Because
This guy.
you're into your 30s now.
Almost 40s.
I wasn't gonna say that. I was gonna say you're into your 30s.
Yeah, 30s.
Give me. I think we've had this conversation, so I want to hear it again. Give me a full length analysis. Compare and contrast dating in your 20s versus dating in your 30s.
Dating in your 20s to dating in your 30s. Well, dating into your 20s,
And remember, Troy and I are rounding the corner on 30.
It's coming up.
Yeah, but you're dating somebody, so it's all good. So 20s.
So I'll just
speak
go
to
ahead.
Troy then.
You just turn your mic off, and I'll just.
I'll take a sip of this Coke Zero because this doesn't apply to
So
me.
dating
And
in
I
your
will
20s,
take notes. Okay.
Dating in your 20s, you're just all gung ho.
Yeah.
You're just looking for the right one.
Mhm.
You think you found the right one, and all of a sudden you get hurt. Dating in your 30s, you just,
There's no hurt left to give.
No.
Whatever happens. If you get to the point where you can have a girlfriend, that's great.
What do you mean you get to the point where you can have a girlfriend? Just
Can.
mentally?
Can't.
You can.
Can.
Okay, so that's what I'm saying. What is how do you get to the point? What's holding you back from not having a girlfriend? Like, how do you get to the point?
Oh, you actually.
What's
in
the
your
state
30s,
of being?
In your 30s, you don't really. You just let it happen. In your 20s, you just force.
So you're telling me you kind of quit around 30?
You kind of quit around 30, and then once you hit the age of 35, when you're just like, oh, I'm halfway to 40, maybe I should look into things.
Right. And then what? Did that spur anything?
I don't know.
in
I'm
you?
still single, so
Right.
it's not
Okay.
really working.
All right. Well, maybe let's just move on to
move on.
a
Let's
less
not talk about
sad
that.
subject.
But I mean, just what's the scene like in your 30s?
Yeah. What's the
What's the
scene?
scene?
I've heard a rumor that after
It's
20,
ballin'.
after 27, it's single moms or nothing.
Single moms are nothing. It's mostly, hey, you're divorced. That's awesome.
You're like hot.
It's hot.
So it's like
She knows what she's doing.
But then
she was successful at one
sometimes
point.
when you go to a family ward, you're just like,
and then a failure.
yeah, you're in the family ward. I'm like,
No offense. Yeah. What's the family ward like?
family ward's
Dude, that's-
awesome. I would rather be in a family ward than YSA.
I think that's like the official stance of this podcast.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Down with YSA.
What was I gonna? Oh, here's what I was gonna tell you. Have you ever been to? When I was 24, I went with my sister and my parents to California for a mid-single adult conference in Huntington Beach, California.
Ooh.
It was like one of the coolest things.
I've heard that one was like probably the top of all tops.
There are some babes.
There's
there.
like 1,500 people that go.
There's babes. They're everywhere.
But there's babes here.
There's
too.
also babes here.
They just hang out at their house and don't come out.
Okay, fair. Well, that's what I'm saying though. Is it down there for that one weekend? They come out.
They come out of their shadow.
Their shadow, and you can just you can meet them, and you can fall in love, and you can sort of share your little grimy histories with each other, and
Yeah.
be like, this is what I'm about, and then
Then they lie about it.
and then lie, and then the lies start, and then the seeds for your eventual divorce get planted,
a
and
week later after you get married.
fast forward 10 years and back to where we started. Why are we even trying?
So what I'm hearing here is Huntington Beach this summer.
Yeah, baby. Oh my gosh, what if we let's do it. Let's the
What are you
three of
doing with
us.
Your girlfriend at that time.
Well, she'll come with
She'll
me.
come
Oh.
with,
Okay.
and you and I will
He'll be our wing. They'll be our wing people.
he'll be our wingman.
Yeah, I'm down.
We'll both need him as a wingman.
Should we bring a dog?
We should bring a
Puppies.
We
Rent
should
a
bring
puppy.
a bunch of puppies.
20 of them.
25 puppies.
Are we dog walkers?
We will be. It'll be a full-time
I
job.
was going to get busy. You're going to lose a few.
It's true.
It's going to be some attrition.
We shouldn't bring enough puppies. We shouldn't bring a number of puppies that will like detract us from like actually meeting women. Because it could get to a point where it's like we're spending all of our time with the puppies, feeding, maintaining, changing their diapers because they're
And that's
wearing
why
diapers.
we have our wingman.
We're putting on little diapies on
There's
them.
little dipes on them, and we call them little dipe.
Little dipe.
Little dipe. Let's
But there is a Calgary Mid Singles Conference every year.
right. How's that?
I like it. We
Yeah.
went to the zoo this year.
And how did that go?
It was great.
Was it?
Yeah, I liked
Okay.
it.
All right. It's great.
Did you meet any honeys?
Can't say that I met anyone new, but I've
Mhm.
talked to people that I haven't talked to before.
Here's a question. How's your follow-up?
I follow up if they're on Facebook.
They're getting a friend
They're
request.
getting a friend request
from this guy.
Yeah, from this guy.
This face is
And
showing
if you don't
up.
hear with me, if you don't hear from me in a week,
Yeah. You're dead to
you're
you.
you're dead to me,
And you're dead.
and you're dead. You're jumping off that bridge. That picture just went off the TV in the bridge.
Yeah. Guys, we're going to take a little bit of a break, and then we're going to come back. So
A
stick
word from our sponsors.
Word from our sponsors. And we're back from the
Hello.
break. Jeremy, let's talk about your mission.
Let's talk about it.
Where did you serve?
I served in Chicago, South Chicago,
Chi-Town.
Chirac.
also known as the Windy City.
Did you meet Michael Jordan while you were there?
No, I did not.
Scottie Pippen.
Not
The
Scottie
Pips.
Pippen.
Rodman?
Luke Longley.
Not Luke Longley. but
Derrick Rose.
Not Derrick Rose was not there. He was
Circa-
still in
A
high
little
school.
baby Jabari Parker.
Yeah, little baby Jabari Parker. I did serve in that area, but
For
I
real?
did not meet the family.
Okay, I know a guy who served in Chicago, and he played hoops with Jabari Parker when he was a kid.
Who's Jabari Parker?
Troy, you ignorant.
A dum-dum.
He is a famous Mormon.
Uh-huh. Oh, he's a Mormon.
Famous in the sense that, like, he was on the cover of Sports Illustrated,
Right.
and he had, like, a Book of Mormon,
Yeah.
because he's like, I'm a Mormon basketball player,
Okay.
and I'm going to the NBA.
Uh-huh.
And then he went to the NBA. He's been a bit of a bust, and he learned about blacks in the priesthood and promptly gave up on the church.
That was good for his career, for sure.
Well,
That's
because that was
the-
the whole thing. His Sports Illustrated thing is like, will I go on a mission?
Wait, is he black?
Yeah.
He's black.
Okay.
His dad's not a member, but his mom is.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that
Yeah.
So I always say, had he served a mission, wouldn't have blown his ACL. He
twice.
has been cursed.
That's his mission
But
story.
where he lived, what ward he went to, I was in that ward.
Okay. So you did not meet him,
I
but you
did
met
not
some
meet him
family?
because I think he was not even born.
Hold on.
Okay, he was
Hold on.
born. He
I mean,
might
he
have
would've
been
been
still
like a
in
little baby.
diapers. He might have been still in diapers.
Let's talk. So when did you serve?
So let's just say this.
Okay.
I was the first missionary
Ever.
in the 2000s. So
What's
left,
Joseph Smith like?
He's great. He's a very strong man,
We did a stick pull competition,
and he won several times.
Yeah, he several times.
And then I found out he was cheating,
right.
and then I won.
Typical.
Yeah. So I left my mission January 10th, 2000.
You left.
I entered the MTC January 10th, 2000.
You went into the MTC.
Yeah, and we were the first missionaries in the MTC in 2000.
This
Claim
is
to
crazy. 9/11 hadn't even happened yet.
No.
This is crazy.
I was in Chicago 9/11 though.
9/11.
9/11.
Wait, so it took 10 days for them to get new missionaries in after the new year?
Well-
Is that just like standard holiday stuff, or were they like Y2K prepping?
I don't know. You asked President Hinckley at the time.
Did you forget her?
You're like, ask Joseph Smith.
Ask President Benson, who gave me my mission.
I was trying to remember who was in the.
Right. Yeah.
So, were you thinking like, is Y2K going to stop me from going on a mission?
I was thinking if Y2K happened, then it happened. I just thought
That's just your viewpoint.
yeah.
I like it.
But what's
didn't-
going to stop you from doing what?
Going on a mission.
Oh, every day is a mission.
Like the world would end.
Like society collapses.
Yeah.
If that
The
happened, then
computers all crash as they thought they would.
I think
And you're just like, I'm still going to Chicago.
I'm still going.
Mission or not.
Still paid.
Post-apocalyptic world still needs the gospel.
Do you remember Fry 2K?
No.
It was like a McDonald's thing, and they there was a guy in a bunker, and he's like, "I'm ready for the new millennium," and then he turns on his lights, bunch of McDonald's French fries lying in his cellar. This guy's ready for the apocalypse. Anyway, back to your mission.
So yeah, it was first. We were the first missionaries in the year 2000.
That's so cool. Can we jump ahead to 9/11?
Yeah, we can jump ahead. That's
Troy,
a
do
year
you
and
have
a-
any ideas?
that's-
Do you have any
that's-
thoughts about 9/11?
So many. So I'm a bit of a truther. I'm a bit of a 9/11 truther. I don't know if you've ever thought about that. I have a feeling you haven't. You're just like, whatever happened, happened.
I was on my mission, so I don't really.
But in the intervening years since then, you haven't thought about it.
I haven't thought about it. Why? Because it happened.
Right.
I want to know what it's like if you're on your mission when that happens.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Here's the story.
Because you're close to New York-ish.
Yeah, several hours away.
Like, wouldn't they be freaking out
Still.
in Chicago? Like, it'd be like a secondary
Can I tell
target?
you the story here?
I'm asking questions.
Okay. I'm going to tell you what happened.
I'm asking questions, too.
Have you ever heard this podcast before? This is what we do.
Sorry.
People tell stories, and we interrupt the whole time.
Yeah, that's true. Okay,
Go.
So we were in a district meeting when this happened, and I remember coming out of the district meeting, and these two ladies were crying, and I was like, "Oh, what happened?"
Where did you see these ladies?
In the church.
Okay.
So we were in the church.
Right.
We come out of a meeting, district meeting, and I was like, "Oh, what are you guys crying for?"
What are you crying for?
I'm like,
What you crying about?
well, 'cause they were like teared, like
distraught.
tears were flowing. They
Yeah.
were distraught, and like, oh, the Twin Towers got injured. I'm like, the Twin Towers? Where are the Twin Towers? And they're like, are you dumb? And I was like, I'm Canadian, so I have no idea what you're talking about. And they're like, oh, the two airplanes got hit in the Twin Tower, and then the towers in New York. I was like, oh, that's awful. And so then, because we had pagers back in the day.
No.
Yeah. We had pagers, and so we...
You had pagers?
Yeah.
You didn't have cell phones.
There's no cell phones weren't invented in 2000. And
what?
Yeah, they were, but okay.
Well, not for us.
Not for
They
us.
raised the
They
bar
invented
for
cell
they
phones in
didn't
like
raise-
the 80s.
Yeah.
Yeah, the bar was low when
The
you
bar
went,
was
right?
really low. They raised it for a reason.
They raised
In
it
2002.
right.
after you were done.
After I got home. they
Interesting
raised it.
correlation. So right when you finished, they had to take a long, hard look at how they were selecting missionaries.
Yeah, it's really true.
Yeah.
Really true.
Okay.
But on to the
Sorry,
9/11.
9/11. Back to the national tragedy.
So the district leader had a pager say call the president.
Yeah.
So he called the president, and he calls him, and he's like, "Hey, have all the elders go to a member's home and watch TV and see what happened." I'm like, "All right." So we did that for like half the day, and then we get another phone call saying, "Don't go out
Yeah.
for like another day, just to let people sulk and
Yeah, give it a minute.
give it a minute."
Yeah.
We're like, all right. So there's missionaries that had to stay at the church because they were in apartment buildings. It was weird.
Ooh.
And so all I remember was, yeah, that's what basically what happened.
Took a day off.
Took a day off.
Took one day off,
Took another P day.
and then you're back to
Then we're back knocking doors.
you're just like, hey, forget about that. Book
Oh.
of Mormon.
Oh, but we had to bring people back to joy.
Back to joy.
Back to joy.
I like it.
But
Did anyone like go hard on like the Islamophobia?
I don't really
Post
remember
9/11.
that. I probably didn't know what it was either.
Yeah, you have like sort of laser vision on a mission. You know, like there's a lot of things. Like I remember coming home from a mission and people were like, I just like Lady Gaga was like a big
Yeah.
thing when I got home.
Justin Bieber too.
Justin Bieber, but especially Lady Gaga, just this girl who wore meat suits, meat dresses. And I'm like, what is this? So, you know what I mean? Like that's not to compare Lady Gaga to 9/11 or anything.
No, but when I went home.
But there's a lot of things that you don't really focus on as a
Focus on.
missionary.
Yeah. So when this is continued to 9/11. So when I went home, I was like, they never like checked me for anything. Like I went through security checks. They didn't check me. They checked everybody else but me.
Right.
I was like, what is going on here? So I get home, and my mom opens the zipper in my pocket, and I had an X-Acto knife in my pocket. And she's like, how did you get through? I'm like, I don't know. I never got checked, never got security checked. She's like, you know what would have happened if you did? I was like, yeah, I wouldn't be here right now.
Wait, how did you like
I didn't even know why I had an X-Acto knife in my pocket,
in your suit pocket?
in my coat pocket.
So you've like how did so like but you went through security though.
Yeah.
You with like the metal detector.
Yeah.
There's like 100 metal detectors.
God blessed me somehow.
Wow, you're a magic man.
Magic.
You're like, and if you want to learn how to do that, just call me up at
But now they'll just
my
do,
pager numbers
Pager
4444.
yeah, we had pagers and fax machines.
I think we had a fax machine.
We had fax
would
everybody
you-
mission just for fun.
I love all this old technology. You're just
What would you send someone a facsimile
a
for?
Blockbuster was on every corner.
There was a Blockbuster on it. Very interesting. There was.
Wow.
Tell us more about the early 2000s, Jeremy.
All right. So, did you always want to go on a mission?
I did.
Really?
Yeah.
How many siblings do you have?
I have 2 sisters and 2 brothers, so 4.
Are they older or younger than you?
Younger.
So you're the oldest,
I'm the eldest.
You're the pace car.
the eldest, the pace car.
Yep.
So, did you feel pressure to go on a mission?
No.
None.
None.
Your parents wouldn't have been like, bad boy.
No.
No.
There was like, I looked at, because I grew up in Claresholm, so there's a lot of members of the church there. So like a lot of like people were going on missions. So I was like, okay. So when I went out, there were about 15, 16 missionaries out.
Yeah.
And then, so I was like, oh, guess it's the thing to do.
Were you
Right.
just like another drop in the bucket?
Drop in the bucket. Yeah, sure.
Like they wouldn't even notice if you went or didn't.
Oh, people noticed.
People
Oh.
noticed.
Who doesn't notice?
And like if you came home
But like when you
early.
when you tell people you're going on a mission, you like people from like high school would come, like teachers and students would come just because they wanted to see
Right.
what's going
They're
on.
invested in
Yeah.
you. Yeah.
And then you come home and there's ask questions, but then you don't see them forever.
So you're excited to go on a mission from the get-go.
Yeah,
Did your father serve a mission?
he did.
So were you indoctrinated from a young age of like your dad's mission stories?
Yeah, my dad's mission story is from Vancouver, so he didn't really go far. He's from
Right.
Karsten.
That's far. It's decently far.
Decently
Out of the
far.
province.
Yeah.
That's good. Yeah, same for me. It was like I got a lot of stories from my dad, and they were like very.
Well, I didn't really get
funny.
stories from my dad. He just talked about it sometimes, and I just didn't really clue in.
For your dad, it was like going to Vietnam or something. He just didn't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
You're like, we just didn't talk about it. He didn't
I
get
just
it.
know that he was like
He didn't get a hero's welcome.
I just know that he was in the office and
Ooh.
he almost had to drive his mission president's wife to the hospital because she was having a baby.
Wow.
What?
Is this like a Soraya Abraham situation?
I guess
or-
so, yeah.
Making babies as a mission president?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
That's
what
got to be.
happens
There's got to
back
be.
in the 80s or
He's-
70s or
he's-
whatever.
he's
that
not-
was. In the
he's-
70s.
Sounds like he's not busy enough. He
No,
needs
not
to.
really. He's another kid.
He's got time for that. Yeah, he needs. Yeah, that's what he needs. He needs. While he's running a mission, he needs to have a newborn baby. Oh well. That would probably be like a new assignment in the mission. Probably like
Yeah, babysit my kid for the week.
babysitter of the mission
Yeah.
president or something. Okay, so you always wanted to serve. You're excited to go, and then you get. What did you think about Chicago?
When I opened it, I said Chicago, and I was like, that'll be cool. And my mom was like, where's Chicago? And I was like, Chicago's in Midwest. And then I didn't read what I was like. I thought didn't even read what if I was speaking English or a different language. I just
Illinois-ish.
said Chicago, and I was like, okay, then put it down.
You're like.
And we were having family dinner. I was like, oh, you've been called to the Illinois Chicago mission. I was like, oh, we're good.
Like, is what it is.
And then they're like, when do you leave? I'm like, January? Put it down again. They're like, are you speaking? I was
So you
like,
didn't hold on. So you didn't even read the full thing.
No, I don't like reading.
So, did you read the Book of Mormon before you left?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's good.
Still didn't like reading.
No, hated every minute of
Hated
it.
every minute of it.
You can get it on tape now, which is good.
Yeah. Back in the day, there was no tape recorders.
No, there's none of that. So let me get this straight. So when you get the thing, you're eating dinner, and your mom's, oh, by the way, your mission call came. And you're
No,
like,
my sister came through the door,
yeah.
and she's like, oh, I got the mail. And she's like, here, you have your mission call. I was like, oh, so we casually.
Were you excited?
I don't really know. I'm not
Do
really.
you get excited?
I don't really get excited
I'm sensing that.
unless it's something big.
The Twin Towers come down. You're like, man,
Whatever. So I basically opened it. Read, hey, you've been called to the Illinois Chicago Mission. I was like, threw it back on the table, started eating
You threw
whatever
it?
he's eating.
You just found out the location. It wasn't like those videos where they're like, "You have been called to serve in the Chicago."
No.
No,
And then I swear, I just said Chicago, put it down.
That's all you needed to know.
that's so
Started
funny.
eating, and I was like, Mom's like, when did you leave? January, and this is October. So I was
Yeah.
like, whatever.
What a
It's
portrait.
not
So
like
that-
you had to leave.
so
It's
that-
not like you had to pack up that night.
Yeah,
No.
so that night I went to a high school volleyball game, and people were like, "Hey, your mom talked to us. You got your mission call." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm going to Chicago."
That was it.
That was it.
Did you find? I found that like when I was gonna go on, because I went to Atlanta and I got the call and I was very excited about it, and people would be like, "So where are you going?"
Yeah.
And I'd be like, "Atlanta, Georgia," and they'd be like, "Okay."
Yeah. Well, a couple of my buddies were like, "Where are you going?" I'm like, "Chicago." She's like, "Oh, Chicago's cool." Like everyone, Chicago's a big city, sports town, because I like sports. So I
Yeah,
was like-
yeah.
So I'm like, I can go see the White Sox. I thought I could see the Cubs, but the Cubs are in the different mission.
Oh,
It's
that's
a little freeway cut, one mission to the other mission. So I was like,
So are you a White Sox fan or a Cubs fan?
I'm a White Sox fan. I live 2 blocks. Away from where the White Sox played. So, and there's a member that played for the White Sox that we get tickets from. So the mission president's like, anytime you want to go, just go.
That's dope.
And so he's like, as long as you tell me, so I can go. So I think I went to like 15, 16 baseball
No,
games.
Wow,
that's awesome.
that'd
We were
be
going
a,
to go to a Monday Night Football game, but then the week before we were going, I got ET'd out.
Oh, that sucks.
I cried for a bit.
The one time on your
The
mission.
one time I was going to go see a Monday Night Football, Packers, Bears.
Yeah.
the Bears.
Bears.
Why'd you get ET'd, Jeremy?
Why did I get ET? Because missionaries are doing stupid
Were
things.
you
back
the
in
cause,
day.
or were you the part of the fallout?
I was part of the fallout.
Okay.
I was part of the fallout.
Okay.
I went from Chicago to Gary, Indiana.
Gary, Indiana.
The armpit
Gary,
of the mission where no one wanted to go to.
Indiana. Why?
Murder capital
It
of
was
the world.
Murder capital of the world at the time.
Dang.
So
Really?
yeah.
Not anymore though.
No, has
Is it
pretty
the
big crime.
Is it the murder capital of Indiana?
It probably is because people are dying.
Illinois. Oh wait, Gary, Indiana.
Gary, Indiana.
So I don't.
It's just on. Is it on the other side of the lake from
It's on
Chicago?
the other side of the lake.
That's sort of like a San Francisco,
Oakland thing.
Oakland sort of thing. Okay.
So I served in Gary for like 9 months.
9 months. You were.
I
in
swear,
the
I swear the mission president forgot about me. 'Cause
murder
there was,
cap
like,
of the world. Of the world?
yeah.
That's
North
can't be
America,
Right.
North
North America. Okay. North America?
Well,
Mexico's in North America.
This was like pre-cartel.
yeah. You look it up.
Okay. 2000.
So,
we
like-
should look this up.
And so I was there for 9 months, and I was like, I swear the mission president forgot me because I lived with 2 other elders, and there's 2 other elders next door, and they were all leaving, and I was like, what is going on? Like, did you forget about me?
Okay.
But I love Gary.
So you got ET'd into Gary.
Yeah.
Well, what were the guys previously in Gary doing? Like
Well,
drug
someone
running?
I know that someone got pregnant.
What?
Oh, yeah.
Who got pregnant? From a missionary.
Missionary got 2 missionaries got 2 people pregnant.
Okay, hold
And
on.
this is why we have the rule of 3.
You know when there was a
I don't know if that would have stopped
You know,
them.
if there was a threesome on the mission, someone was going home. This had a threesome in the mission field, and 2 got sent home.
Someone had a threesome in the mission field.
If threesome as missionaries, so like if us 3 were companions,
Uh-huh.
How do we come up with a new name for that?
Yeah.
We can't be calling it a threesome.
A tripanionship.
A trio.
trio. So
Trio.
the trio, and you knew someone was going home
Yeah.
because you get these.
So you were in a trio.
No, they were in a trio.
They were in a trio.
And so you saw where everyone was because you got this sheet of paper
Yeah.
every month saying, "Hey, who's serving with who?"
Yeah.
So you saw it, and you're just like, "Oh, someone's going home."
Someone got pregnant. With that, we got to take a really quick break, and then we'll be right back with your story. And we're back. Okay, so where we left off, two missionaries had gotten 2 separate women pregnant in the area where you were,
Where I was going.
where you were going.
So when I got ET'd, I went to Gary. Gary had got those 2 missionaries gone.
Okay.
So back up a bit.
So that
You
was
said you
that was
s-
the cause of the emergency transfer.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you got punished for what they did. But what's the
Don't
story?
other missionaries get punished for what other missionaries did?
Yeah, they're all in this together.
Man.
Oh, that area had a lot of problems.
We know that when one missionary doesn't keep the mission rules, it affects the entire mission.
Yes.
True.
It
Yes.
ripples out.
But was it? You said a trio. You saw that
So
there was a
there was-
trio. How do you know just because there's a trio? What is
Because
that?
it always happens. How it always happened in the mission.
When you have three missionaries together, they're up to shenanigans.
Yeah.
So it was the trio that got up to shenanigans.
Yeah.
So one missionary in the trio didn't get someone pregnant. So he's a good apple.
Yeah. I think he's the one that told.
He ratted it
Good
out.
for him.
Rat him out.
I
So what's
just
the-
I just
did
don't
you
know
have
how
to,
you
like-
have sex with some,
I don't know. I
mission.
don't never asked.
And they were keeping the rule of three. This blows my mind. There's three of them.
So what's that other missionary doing?
I don't know,
Obviously,
never
he's
asked.
collecting data so he can rat him out.
He's reading Book of Mormon.
He's reading
he's doing
Jesus the
something.
Christ while his companions head off into rooms alone.
Jeez Louise.
So that you get ET'd in, do you have to deal with the aftermath of this? Do you have to like raise these children as your own?
No, I think they did.
Those missionaries.
Those missionaries did because I know they came back.
They just stayed there as
Well, they went home and came
They
back.
just never got
Honestly, They get
released.
released.
They've
They're like, this is the rest of your mission.
They're like the Colonel Kurtz's Apocalypse Now of that mission. They just, they've gone rogue. They've set up base at the end of the river.
Yeah.
Gods among the native people. So you get to Gary, Indiana. And
Get to Gary December 20th.
Gary, Indiana is not a sports town.
Gary,
No.
Indiana is not a sports. It is a sports town. There is They used to have an ABA basketball team there.
they do racquetball there.
They do racquetball. They had a baseball team there.
Baseball.
Baseball. They had the Jackson 5 was there. So
The Jackson 5. Like Michael Jackson?
Michael Jackson is from Gary, Indiana,
Oh, neat.
and so is Gladys Knight.
She's a Mormon too, right?
Yeah, she actually still
Did
has
you
a house in Gladys.
Did you teach her?
Did
and
you
baptize
convert her?
She was already a member at the time.
Okay.
Shucks.
Shoot. Tell us your craziest story from the murder capital of North America. Circa 2000.
So probably New Year's, all the missionaries came to our apartment, and everything's like you hear pipe bombs going off, and you see,
Pipe bombs?
oh yeah, people are shooting guns because it's like
On
New
New Year's
Year's Eve.
But pipe bombs.
Yeah, pipe
Like
bombs.
homemade explosives.
Homemade explosives.
That's different from fireworks.
Fireworks are also going off at this time. But there's like everything's going off, and you're just hear this bang, bang,
People
bang.
are like,
and
I want
off
to
on
kill
the
some people.
Yeah, off in the distance, you're seeing like fireworks going off. You're seeing explosions. You're
Pipe
seeing,
bombs.
yeah, you're seeing everything.
Like gasoline bombs,
Gas-
like fireballs.
You're seeing stuff that you haven't seen before.
It's the purge, basically.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so there's a missionary that's like, oh, I want to get my videotape recorder and record this.
It's a little camcorder.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, where is it? He's like, in the car. So we're on the second balcony. He's like, and there's it just piled of snow like that whole week. So he's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna jump. So as soon as he jumps, you hear this bang, and we're just like, he falls, and we're like, did he just die? And so he gets up and he's like, surprise, I'm alive. And we're like, oh dude, we thought you were dead, because we heard this bang go off. It was the neighbor downstairs doing something.
What was he doing?
He's shooting his gun.
Shooting his gun in the air.
So he gets his stuff, and we talk to the neighbor. Neighbor's like, yeah, this happens all the time in Gary. And we're just like,
Wow.
yeah, we could see this. No wonder
Makes
there's so
sense.
many deaths in Gary.
Just accidental.
Accidental.
People are like
People
changing the channel with their gun or something, trying to shoot the channel.
But in Gary, we had to be in by like 8 every day.
Yeah, no, I can understand that. Were you successful in the work in Gary?
No.
No. Why did the roughness of the place have anything to do with that?
If you got past the first discussion in Gary, you did good.
Okay. Okay.
Because you actually found out where they actually lived. Because half the people did not live at that place.
Right, yeah.
Because they just joined up and
They're just at the place.
just at the place. Yeah, come back here at 6. We'll teach you. The guy who's like probably in jail by then.
Yeah, and they're like, yeah, I'll be there.
Yeah,
For
and
sure.
so
Yeah, I'll
they
be
they
there.
honestly said they would be there, and they're
No,
like,
yeah, for sure, yeah.
then you're just like, oh, he's probably at this house randomly down the street.
And then they're not, yeah.
But in Gary, there's there's gangs that just follow us around.
No way.
They're like, if anyone gives you grief, let us know.
Oh,
Really?
The friendly gangs.
It's friendly gangs because we taught about God.
Cool.
The preacher gods, they said.
Yeah, Jesus boys.
And so I remember this. The elders that we lived with was telling us that they got the door slammed on them, and so the gang went up to them and said, "Hey, you either listen to these guys, or you do not slam the door that hard on them,
Or you'll be dead.
Yeah.
They're like, that was extremely rude.
And so
We'll put a rattlesnake in your bed.
So they're like, "Well, do you want to hear the word of God?" "No, we're good. We're good. We just trust you guys."
Yeah, I was gonna say, did you ever have to call in any favors?
No.
Okay.
I tried not to. I tried not to look behind me
Why not?
because you don't ever know what's gonna happen.
You
If
don't
you
wanna-
look somebody wrong, they're coming after you.
Is that a real problem?
Oh yeah.
Did that ever happen to you or someone that you knew?
I know that 2 people that I lived with
Yeah.
got beat up, like got
2
robbed.
missionaries.
Yeah, and got like put in the hospital.
So didn't you have to tell your gang friends about that?
It was probably
Let them take care of it.
I didn't want to say anything to them.
They didn't trust those
You never know what
missionaries.
actually would happen if you told Brad about
You're
it.
just like, those missionaries obviously didn't have gang protection, so it's their own fault.
So what's the deal? Did you just like throw up the right signs like right at the beginning? You're like, "What's up, guys?" And they're like, "Oh, okay, yeah, we trust this guy."
No, they just because we had white shirts, so they believed the white shirts. Every time they saw the white shirts, they're like, Mormons.
Mormons.
If you
Missionaries.
wore red shirts, you'd get shot.
Probably.
There was a problem in our mission in Atlanta and thereabouts where people thought that it was a white church, and so they wouldn't want to come to just like a white church. Did you have that problem? How did you deal with that?
We didn't have a problem. There was a lot of
In Gary, was it primarily like a black congregation or was
it was
it
mixed.
It was
of
mixed?
like Mexicans, blacks, whites.
What was the distribution on that? Like 30-30-30,
A lot of
50-50? I found quite a it was
depends where you were.
yeah.
Like
Was not homogenous,
Yeah.
though.
But they didn't have okay, so it wasn't really an issue to
No.
be like so you didn't even have that perception problem then.
no.
Cuz that's kind of what it was in my mission was that cuz like it was about like 50-50 black and white in most wards.
Yeah.
Some areas leaned more country
you were in, the
or
whiter
whiter.
it was.
Yeah, yeah.
More inner city, the more
Black it was, yeah. And so it was just this perception issue of like, isn't the Mormon church a white church?
But we had a lot of missionaries, we had half Spanish speaking and half English speaking
Right.
because there's so many Hispanics in our area.
Okay.
We had Polish elders as well
Okay.
For speaking Polish.
to speak Polish, but I never
Like a
saw
Polish branch?
There was a Polish branch.
Wow.
There was also they also had signing elders in our area mission too.
For signing
Yeah.
checks.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
our checks. So we didn't
Accounting
die.
elders.
Didn't die,
Okay.
but yeah.
To pay
But
off
most
the gangs.
most of my areas, like Gary, the ward had like 18 missionaries in there
Huh.
An award.
in a ward.
18 missionaries in one ward.
Yeah,
Is that like
It's a lot.
Is that like a whole zone?
that's basically the whole zone.
Big ward, I
It
imagine.
was big ward, but not a lot.
Well, it
of
must have
people.
been a huge area.
Huge area.
Huge
So it's like
area.
all you've been the West Side Lethbridge,
I don't
Yeah.
know. Probably.
probably. So it's
It's where the university is.
University.
Right?
Yes,
is.
I have. Yeah.
so all the West Side would be a ward.
Okay.
All
There's like an entire YSA stake just in the west side of Lethbridge, basically.
So it's a lot of area.
a lot of area.
that you
Like
can
I
scatter a
covered
bunch of
an
missionaries in.
area from that went from basically Claresholm to Fort McLeod.
So was the size of the ward? What was it, like 300 people or what?
There'd be probably 500,
500.
but 200 or 100 would show up.
Right.
A lot of inactives.
Yeah. In the Atlanta, I think it's the downtown Atlanta ward had like 900 members and 100 active. Yeah. Which is crazy. Those are crazy
There's a
numbers.
lot of like lost sheep that you.
Yeah, for sure.
Speaking of the racial issues, did you guys ever run into? Because we all had Spanish branches and Spanish elders in our mission, right?
We all.
Mm-hmm.
And so a thing that we came across is teaching English-speaking Latinos, and if they wanted to come to like the English-speaking ward, it was kind of like the Spanish elders might be like, really? But then like the members in the Spanish branches would think that any like Mexicans that wanted to go to the regular ward were like uppity or something.
No, they would do both in my mission.
Yeah. I like the Spanish elders never had a problem with getting baptisms, you know? So
the Spanish missionaries had like 20 baptisms a month.
Yeah, so it was never really an issue.
So they would gladly
English
give
people
up.
barely got any.
I think so, yeah. Yeah.
But so was it like good riddance to those that want to go to an English ward then?
I don't know if there's that uppityness.
Because
I didn't really know about it though.
Didn't really happen.
So you had that in your mission? There was like a sort of a frown upon the people who think that, oh, you know English, you're going to an English ward.
Yeah, a little bit.
Good riddance.
Okay, that's Arizona. That's because the church is out in the west. We're out in the east. No one cares.
Right.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Because there was the church runs just a little differently out east, and
where when they say something, everyone joins back and says something. You're just like, what just happened?
Yeah. It's not like
yeah, you guys didn't serve in the Mormon pillar.
No.
And I'm glad I kind of didn't either.
I'm glad it was a little bit different.
You just saw things that you'll probably never see again.
Yeah. But it was cool because it's like, I don't know, like I get it because, like how far south is
Chicago's like right on.
Oh, it's right on the Great Lakes or whatever,
Lakes.
right? And then Gary's like
right across from the Great Lake.
Okay, so not very. That's sort of like we were just talking about this, the Great Lakes Book of Mormon geography theory.
Yeah, you were right there, right where it happened.
Right where it
all
all
happened. We went tracting once, and this guy's like, we kicked you Mormons off back in whatever a long time ago, and we never want you back again. And I looked at him like, well, we're back, so what are you gonna do?
You got your gang behind you, just ready to like.
Well, this was like a hick town.
Oh,
so I knew I was okay saying this.
Yeah. Okay.
Because if I was in a ghetto, I would not say that.
Right. Yeah.
But the hick town, I was like, anything goes. Who cares?
I'm one of you.
You're like, you lost, buddy.
What's gonna
We're
happen?
back.
Someone
I'm
throwing
a white trash cracker myself.
someone throwing a drink at you. Yeah, someone's gonna throw a drink at me.
Yeah. Were you ever afraid? What was like a moment in your mission where you were the most afraid?
Probably that day going into the mission field.
The day going into the mission
The
field.
day touching down in Chicago.
Okay. Why?
Because there were 16 of us, and then the mission president's like, "Oh, you're handing out a Book of Mormon on the train," and I'm like, "No, I'm not. I'm just gonna like look at the views.
I'm just gonna enjoy Chicago."
And then they had a couple fake people that were on the train that just come up to you that were members, and they try to engage you in conversation. I'm just like, no,
Like I'm not doing this.
I'm not doing this. I'll do it tomorrow.
Not today.
Not today.
Not on day one.
I don't know, but honestly, that was the only time I was scared.
Okay.
I don't remember ever being scared on the mission. I should have been scared a few times.
Right.
But I never was. Like I had a companion that we were door knocking. We were told to door knock 5 hours a day.
Wow.
Yeah.
5 hours.
Well,
a day.
the members couldn't do anything for you, so
Right.
back when I was there, you weren't fed unless a member had an investigator or an inactive family. So I never got fed for the first probably 6 to 8 months of my mission, and then they changed the rule.
Holy crap.
So I had a companion that we were door knocking, and he's like, I'm getting sick of my face getting slammed in the door. I was like, whatever, man.
Like,
Do
your
whatever
face is
you
too
want
close
to do.
to the door, bro. I gotta
And
step
so
back.
then the guy went to slam the door. He put his foot in the door, and the guy's like, get off my property. He's like, no, you're not. I will want to teach you right now. And I was like off the doorstep walking down the street.
Right. Yeah.
And all of a sudden I hear this, because he got punched in the nose for being an idiot.
Right.
And broke his nose. My companion got his nose broke.
Holy smokes.
And so go to the hospital, and we call the mission president. Mission president's like, Elder Olsen, why didn't you help him? I'm like, what am I going to do?
You're like, should I have punched
Should
that
I
guy
have
back?
should I have stayed there? and have both of us look like an idiot, or
pull
he's
my
the one
secret knife out? And...
like he's the one that wanted to be more bold, so he got bold and he lost.
And the other guy won.
Yeah.
Jeez. So that's like, were there any other sort of physical confrontations on your mission?
With companion probably.
Ooh, yeah, I was about to ask, like with another mission.
I had a
Little
Mongolian.
fisticuffs?
I had a Mongolian companion from Mongolia.
Okay. How'd that go?
Oh, it was basically hell.
Why?
Because I get off the transfer van, and the first thing he says to me is, "Elder Olsen, I hate Canadians." And I'm like, "That's your problem,
That's
not
the
mine."
most
Like, what am I
obscure
gonna do?
opinion in the world.
I'm like, what am I going to do? I'd never met you before.
Yeah.
So like every day he would just like start yelling at me, and I'm like, what? I'm not even doing anything wrong. And it's just like, but maybe it's just a culture thing.
Yeah.
So I talked to the sister missionary, and because she's from Mongolia, and she's like, no, it's just him. I'm like, all right, whatever.
I look at you. You're like, teach me about the culture.
And so I didn't really
he's
want to
like,
know about the culture. He
screw
told me
you.
not to speak during like when we went to church or we went to like stuff, and I was like, okay, whatever. I'm not getting involved in this. And so one day I just got sick, and I was sick of it, and I just stood up. I'm like, I will not take your crap anymore. And
Yeah.
I'm glad I was living with two other elders, because I would have got shiz kicked.
Was he like jacked, or he
Oh,
knew
he's
some kung fu or something?
He had like Taekwondo training in
Black belt.
Mongolian whatever thing.
Mongolian,
Throat singing,
But, like,
training.
So then
Oh.
that happened. Then I didn't see him for the rest of the day. He
So
just,
you had a tussle.
yeah.
and
He's
you
like
didn't-
tried to throw a punch,
You didn't
but
necessarily win.
Yeah,
Was it a draw?
he draw because he threw a punch, but I just walked. And so I never saw him throughout the rest of the day because he went
I
upstairs.
need more
What?
details,
Yeah,
Jeremy.
what?
Like a little push, a little shove, a little grapple.
I pushed him.
Like how would Joe Rogan have called this?
I
fight?
pushed him. He threw a punch, didn't connect,
Missed you.
missed me, and
By
then he
how
went
far?
upstairs. I don't know. I didn't. Maybe in
All
back
you
in-
know is it
maybe in
didn't
the
hit
movie
ya.
screen in heaven we'll see it.
Right. Yeah.
But he went upstairs for the rest of the day. I didn't see him. And then the other two elders I lived with, they were making fun of him that day.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden he goes to the kitchen cupboard, he grabs a knife, sharp knife like a pizza knife, and just whipped it
Where
at the wall between the two elders.
did it stick in the wall?
It stuck on the wall. And I looked at him like, you have anger issues. He's like, no one makes fun of Mongolian people. Only Mongolian people can make fun of Americans. And I looked down, I'm like, you know what? It goes both ways, buddy. If you can't be made fun of, don't make fun of others.
Man, that bar was sure low, wasn't it?
He was crazy. And then so I served with him for 4 months.
4 months.
4 months.
Did you ever complain?
No, I never complained once because I came to the conclusion that if you complain on your mission, it's going to get worse. The mission president won't care.
Okay.
You know, it's
And
good,
so
it's good
the
philosophy.
last transfer,
Stoic.
mission president's like, I heard that Elder Odnium does not like you. I'm like, that's his problem, not mine. I'm like, if he complained,
Whatever happens, happens, man.
if he complained, that's his issue, not mine. I'm not going to complain.
Yeah.
And so he's like, okay. And so the other two elders were like nervous the entire time because they had no idea what was happening. Like one wrong move, he could get stabbed.
Yeah.
So he got transferred. That transfer, he got transferred. I got put with a Elder Trofimenko from Ukraine, and that's when I got ET'd. I got ET'd to the same house as the Mongolian.
Oh, no.
So we lived with each other for 7 months, but I learned not to speak with him.
So you were
Good lesson.
his companion for
And
4.
his companion, as soon as he found out that who he was serving with, he called me. He's like, how's he? And so I told him, like, you're just going to have to do what he wants to do. So I was told that the week before I got there that he just went just driving somewhere, didn't come back for the day. He just was like, apparently went to the movie theater and watched a movie.
Cool.
And then came home and you're just like, oh, that was great.
Went and
for
saw
him.
Star Wars or whatever.
Yeah, I guess so. So I've learned to think that Mongolians are absolutely crazy.
Don't like Mongolians.
You know, we had a Mongolian elder on my mission.
What was he like? You know what? We got to take one more break, and then we'll hear about that. and we'll be right back. So you had a Mongolian missionary on your mission, Lyndon.
Well, yeah, and then the strange thing...
Did he like you or not? Did he like
We
Canadians?
were in the same zone at the end of my mission, but
Mhm.
never even... The only thing I knew about is that he would, like, always ride his bike with the undergrip. Well, because in, like, the Asian culture, like, the tan people are peasants.
Okay.
And he was a bit of a classist, if you will. So he always tried to avoid getting tan on the top of his arms. He wanted to be pasty because pasty Asians are like the wealthy, superior Asians.
Hot ones.
So we were kind of like, bruh. This is America.
Let's forget it.
This is America in like 2009, where everyone is trying to get tan AF.
Right. The tanner, the better.
So it's like you gotta embrace it.
Get that tan on. Get that mission tan on.
And then it was strange because we had a Mongolian elder and a Mongolian sister.
And they got married eventually.
I don't think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm just like,
Would have been a good story.
our missions are just mirrors of each other, Jeremy.
No. You've had more success. You tracted less, I tracted more.
You're right. They were nothing the same.
Yeah. So, Jeremy, Christmas is coming up.
That it is.
We're like weeks away from Christmas.
True.
I was wondering if we could get from you a nice Christmas story.
I only had one Christmas in the mission field.
How does that work?
Because I left January.
Right.
And it came back December.
You didn't even serve a full 2
I
years.
served 23 months.
Get out of here.
Get out of here.
I will later.
Okay. Stay for now. Tell us about your one Christmas. What was it like?
We went, there's 10 missionaries. We went to this member's house and they fed us their pet goat that they had. And we had goat.
They prepared you the family
They prepared
goat.
us the family goat. That
Why
was,
did they have a family goat?
Well,
where was this? South side Chicago?
It was Gary.
Oh, it was Gary.
Of course it was.
Gary. And the elders that lived there above them had a pet goat for a couple weeks.
And then they killed it.
And they killed it.
How did they kill it?
Did they
I
prepare it
don't
in
know.
a special way? Like, why were they raising goats?
Because that's how Mexicans do it in Chicago. They raise a goat for a couple of weeks, let it graze the grass, get it nice and fat, and they eat it.
That's two birds, one stone. Get your lawn cut, get them dinner out of it.
But it's like December, so are they finishing it off on grain?
Yeah, I guess so. They
It's
had it in the
not
house.
chewing the lawn.
They had it in the house, from what I was told.
Yeah, the lawn's covered in snow.
Yeah.
Is it a snowy city? Like, what's the weather like?
You get the
there?
lake effect, so you get everything twice.
What's that mean?
So the snow
Yeah.
comes, and it comes around the Great Lakes again, and it
Oh.
circles, and so you get double the amount.
Picks
that
up some
sucks.
moisture.
Picks up the moisture.
Moisture. Have you been back to back to Christmas though? So what was like on the day?
So we got up.
How did you feel? And this was I guess a year into your mission, right?
Yeah.
Your first Christmas was
First
a year
Christmas
in.
a year in.
When was your first Christmas? Because when did you go in the mission field? Summer, right?
Yeah. So I got to the mission in September. Because I was in the MTC late summer.
Yeah.
So my first Christmas was in my first area with my breaker. No, that's not even true. Why am I so confused?
Why are you
about
telling
this?
lies?
What are you
About your
lying
mission?
for?
Get your mission right.
Get your mission. Did you even serve a mission?
Like, I know you left for 2
I'm
years, but
fabricating
did
it.
you
Like,
go to
I
somewhere?
swear-
Did you go on a holiday?
Like, were you just
'Cause I-
somewhere?
Because I have this fabricated memory where my first phone call home was with my trainer.
Yeah.
It was probably Mother's Day.
That doesn't make sense. But my first Christmas was 100% with my breaker. It's just my first phone call. We did it
Were you
in the
concussed?
institute. Jeremy, let me finish. This is my.
Now you know how it feels.
You don't cut me off, Jeremy.
We got you off.
I had a lot of memories with my trainer in the Mesa Institute,
Okay.
and we made our phone calls from the Mesa Institute. So my brain just spliced him in there, but he wasn't there.
Okay.
It was my breaker.
I got to the mission field in November, so Christmas was I had one nice transfer with my my maternal like trainer. He was very nice to me, and then I got my my greenie buster, my breaker, and he wasn't as nice initially. He was a little rougher around the edges. And I just remember my Christmas call was just very sad in the room with the Bowflex, just like
Working out in Bowflex?
Sadly, no, I was just like was in there, door closed, like talking on the phone to my parents, and they were like, "How are you doing, buddy? You sound sad." And I was like,
"First Christmas away, meow, I'm sad."
All right. Any other cool Christmas memories for you?
No,
No.
because the goat.
You ate the goat.
How was the goat? What
The
the
goat
goat
was
taste
good
like?
because
It was good.
that wasn't the first time I had goat.
That wasn't the first time.
No, because we had goat like several times before that.
As missionaries.
As missionaries.
Okay.
Hmm.
What was it? Like a goat steak, or
Goat,
what?
they had someone have menudo.
Okay.
So like goat guts, basically.
Oh,
Soup.
tasty.
Yeah, it's
Yummy.
great times. Sometimes you didn't know what you were eating at the time.
Yeah, you just put it in your mouth, smile.
Yeah.
Yeah. Welcome to a mission life.
Yep.
Just put it in your mouth. Did you ever hear that song?
Yeah.
Though it might be good to on a mission, that's reversed.
That's true.
Opposite.
Just put it in your mouth
and smile.
and smile.
The music cuts and smile.
And then you try to gobble that down into your stomach.
You
Well-
will get sick.
Surely they
I
didn't
don't
use
think I ever
goat
got
guts.
sick on the mission.
You never got sick on
Never
your
got
mission?
sick.
Not from food.
Oh, not from food.
Just mentally.
I was checked out.
At what point were you checked out?
I killed 6 missionaries in a row and then got killed myself.
Wow,
Serial killer.
that's like a new record.
Yeah.
Yeah. The last
You're the
record was like
Zodiac.
4.
So my last 6 weeks on my mission, my companion had hernia surgery.
Uh-huh.
So I just sat in the confines of the
The apartment? A house?
The apartment.
The quarters?
Yeah, where
the
the other
room?
missionaries didn't want to hang out.
Right.
They didn't want to take me.
Yeah. They didn't want the Zodiac.
They didn't want to be there by themselves.
They were afraid they were going to get killed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just phoned it in.
So,
And plus, I was the shortest missionary.
yeah.
The guy, my last companion, who had hernia surgery, was almost 7 feet.
Yeah.
What
So
a cruel
it
joke.
was a really bad joke.
It was like playing Odd Job and Jaws in 007.
Yeah.
You know? That
So
was
yeah,
you
that
guys.
was my last 6 weeks of my mission. Was basically sitting in the apartment for 5 weeks, and the last week we actually went and did stuff. Tried to actually
So, you come home.
come home.
What's that like? Come home in 2000.
Well, the first day I came home,
Two.
December 20th, 2001, and got home and went to a dance.
Like a Christmas dance,
A
New Year's dance.
Christmas dance.
Christmas dance.
Like
Christmas
the day,
dance.
that day I came home.
You got busy.
You had a full social
Well,
schedule.
People wanted to see me.
You're like, I'll be married within 1 year. Just
I will
you
be
see.
yeah. Gotta meet people.
Fast forward.
And so I remember sitting at the corner of the dance floor on a chair by myself, shaking. What am I doing?
Uncontrollably.
Yeah.
Did you have this big beard like immediately after? I just
I
imagine.
grew a 5 o'clock shadow within a day.
Of course you did.
This
course
is
you
like
did.
3 days of growth, people.
Really? Shut up.
It's like
No.
3 weeks.
3 weeks. Okay. Did you do the Movember thing?
No.
Okay.
No shave November at least.
I didn't shave November. No.
There we go.
How about October? Did you shave in October?
I probably shaved once in October
Makes sense.
because I like to Rocktober the beard.
Rocktober. So you get home and you
Go to the dance.
you go on to a dance and did you ask anyone to dance?
I think somebody asked me to dance, and I was like,
Like, get away.
Kind of went and danced, but I was like, you're too close to me.
Uh-huh. Were you excited to be dancing with a girl?
No, I hated it, actually.
Okay.
I hate dances, period. But I like to go to dances, just see other people dance.
Yeah, weird, but okay.
But the only thing that I'll do is I will slow dance because I am the best slow dancer.
What's your technique?
So you just twirl the girl after she's done, after the song's done, and give her a hug. That's my technique.
And that makes you the
I
best.
make really good at it.
You make really good at it.
I make that really good.
He makes great dances.
Makes great dances.
If they don't like it, then they missed out.
Jeremy, you've been home for how? Let's see. It's 18 years?
18 years.
18 years. Incredible. How do you feel?
Oh my gosh, those children that
I could have had a kid.
Impregnated on the mission are adults now.
They're adults. They could be listening. We should find them. Okay, so my question for you is, how do you feel like your mission has impacted your life since then? What are sort of the impacts, not the fallout, but the
fallout?
Yeah. What's happened in the meantime for you? Let's talk about your faith journey for a minute.
It's honestly, the mission is the best 2 years of your life.
Right.
You do more things and you'll see more things. You'll experience more things.
Yep.
You come home and you don't experience those things, which is probably a good thing.
Yeah.
And a bad thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because you don't get to, you don't know the moment of it.
You don't know what you have while you have it.
Yeah, well, you have it good.
Right.
So after 18 years, I think the world has gotten soft. and missionary, it's easy.
That's your takeaway.
And missionary, it's easier to serve a mission because they get all these goodies.
You're so right.
They get to use a laptop to call home or to email back and forth. I don't know. Remember, Facebook.
Facebook exists now.
Yeah,
didn't exist for you.
Didn't exist for me. Just the pager and the. But I just remember sometimes not getting like mail.
Right.
I get a letter and it didn't make sense because the other letter went missing, and all of a sudden I get that other letter.
Different pages of the same letter.
Yeah, like a different, like you get May 20th, and then you get like May 1st. Right. So the mail would just I think the mail actually.
The mailman would just open it.
Yeah, but like my mom said, she sends packages. I never got a package.
It's like a microcosm
unless they sent it to
life.
the mission. Unless you got stuff sent to the mission home, you got it.
Yeah.
But if you if you gave it to the address you lived at, you weren't getting mail.
Right.
Unless your mail person was nice.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is your mission was just like 2 years of being harshly isolated.
We weren't harshly
and facing rejection for 5 hours a day.
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
Did you like tracting?
I hated it.
Did you fill your quotas, your 5-hour quotas?
There was times that we tracked it 10 hours a day.
Yeah.
Just for fun. I don't know.
I think it's fun. I kind of like tracting.
I liked tracting.
Yeah.
I just didn't like no one being home for like 15 doors in a row.
Yeah.
And then getting your door slammed.
I
had a companion that hated getting door slammed, and went to the point where he went onto the curb and started bawling his head off.
Oh my god!
And I'm like, I cannot deal with this.
That bar, man. That bar, low.
It was very low.
I just remember I thought tracting just was such like a mindless activity. It was fun to just you're walking around, you're knocking,
you're saying different things to people.
Yeah, you're just
you're making a joke.
You're
kind of
screwing around. If you're friends with your companion, it's fun, and that's kind of how you become friends with your companion. Yeah. I think, and then
unless you have a companion that just wants to memorize the proclamation to the family for some reason.
Yeah, it was all about memorizing stuff, wasn't it? But then you finally get to a door and they're like, "Yeah, come on in." And they're like, "Oh,
I don't know how to teach a first discussion. I haven't taught a first discussion in 6 weeks.
Haven't taught in weeks. Okay, great."
Can I get my pamphlet out?
Yeah, here's a pamphlet. Yeah, you're just like, "You know what? Take a pamphlet."
No, because we had discussion pamphlets of what we should say.
Yeah.
Because now you guys just go by whatever. I don't know what you guys.
The Spirit.
The Spirit.
Preach my gospel.
We didn't use Preach My Gospel or the Spirit at the time. we just read off of what
Spirits for babies.
Yeah.
Kids are too soft these days.
The world is soft, my friends.
Being led by the Holy Ghost. Weak.
For the weak.
So, yeah.
What a crutch.
Lyndon, do you have any sort of closing questions for Jeremy?
Do you think if you went on a mission after they raised the bar, would you have crawled under it or over it?
Would that be my second mission?
Step around it.
No, you just waited a few years to go on your mission. You were a busy guy. I don't know what you did before your mission.
I probably would have went.
You don't have to get aggressive with me, Jeremy.
Probably would have went, but if
You're
if
like,
I went,
raising the bar
went-
would not have stopped me.
if I went,
I would have.
if I went pre-mish or pre-bar and post-bar, I would want the post-pre-bar. I would want the pre-bar.
The pretty bar. Is that what you
The pre-bar.
Pre-bar.
He wanted to go pre-raising the bar. Why is
Pre-raising the
that?
bar. I think
Sounds
I
like
think
you
it
had
made
more
I think
fun.
it made people.
You didn't go to
Man.
15 White Sox games after they raised the
No.
bar.
No, there's still missionaries that do that.
Nobody's getting pregnant. It's
But-
almost like I feel like when we went on a mission, it was like the toughest. Like it was the
I
most.
don't know if it's
strict.
toughest.
Yeah, man.
It was post-bar, pre-surge.
and
It was the golden era of missionary
It really
work.
was. It really was.
And as two unbiased people,
Yeah,
we can say that.
we can say that.
We're the greatest generation.
We
You
are.
are.
You are.
Just because you had baptisms.
Just because you. All right, Jeremy. Thank you so much for coming on. I think we'll
Thank you.
we'll close it up there. Final question: would you serve another mission if that was a thing?
Pre-marriage?
Yeah.
No.
Okay. Lyndon, do you have anything to close us out on?
Thank you, Jeremy, for coming on. I know you've been a little up and down on your listening to the podcast. So I just want to remind you and everyone else to stay true and faithful.
Bye-bye.